I am so happy to be here today. It is the first time in over 4 months that we are back in the studio to film an mPower moment. While it's going to look like my guest and I are sitting close together, that is actually something that's happening behind the scenes. I can assure you we are socially distanced here in the MBA studio. I'm joined today by Teressa Lurk, who is our Vice President of Marketing and Design. I've asked Teressa to be my guest today because I think she exemplifies all that we've had to juggle while we are working at home, as well as managing our lives during this unprecedented time. Teressa, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Marcia. I'm so glad to be back here in the MBA offices, and it's really great to see you.
Thank you. It's great to see you, too. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen each other since, I think, the 16th of March. So it's great to be here. And we've worked together for 9 years. Yes. And my kids are grown and gone. And so my experience during COVID is very different. But what many people may not know is, well, you've had this long career and you're highly successful juggling a team and working at home. You also have a toddler. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what have you learned during this time working from home and juggling all those priorities?
Wow. Well, the first thing I would say is that it's not easy. It is a juggling act. You know, a lot of what, you encounter as a working professional with a small child is, being able to prioritize and sometimes being in 2 places at one time. I've learned a lot from my toddler. I've learned a lot from this experience. And I've learned primarily to show myself a lot of grace in the midst of kind of trying to be in 2 places at one time. And so it's a challenge. It's a challenge at times, but we're getting through it.
How are you navigating it when Max needs your time and you're getting ready for a call or you have a deadline? What have you learned? How do you juggle those competing priorities?
I'll tell a funny story. Max, when we first started, in the midst of our quarantine, he has heard me on so many conference calls that now he calls me Teressa Mama sometimes. And so he definitely kind of got used to, the world that we are all experiencing. I have the help of my husband. I actually have 3 bonus children at home, and so they are of older age, and so they help me out a lot. But it's really, trying to find that quiet time and trying to ensure that he has my attention when he needs it. And then he feels comforted enough to go on with daddy or to go on with, his other siblings when the time allows. And so, it's a little bit of giving everybody and everything what they need. I think the important thing that I've learned from that is that I have to also give myself what I need. And so
very important.
I've tried to really institute a lot of self-care as much as possible into my routine, even if it's just waking up extra early. It's what I've been trying to do to keep myself healthy as well.
Any hiccups along the way?
I would say there are probably lots of hiccups and lots of learning experiences from this whole experience. But I don't know if I'm at a point where I am really kind of being able to really digest or look back at things right now. So much of being a working professional and especially a working mom right now is really kind of pushing forward and facing what's in front of you, in the words of our good friend Mika Brzezinski. And so I think it's just really kind of facing what's ahead.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
You manage a very important and large team here at the MBA, and all of you are working from home. How do you stay connected with your team during this time?
Well, I think we've done the regular things like Zoom calls and making sure that we're keeping up with, our regular touch-based meetings and our one-on-one meetings. The thing that I would say in addition to that I have tried not to do is to, kind of overburden calendars. I know that everybody's working with their own unique circumstances, and so trying to make sure that we are touching base together when it's necessary. I'm not the only one on my team who has a small child or toddler, and so just being considerate and, aware and empathetic of other circumstances during this time. Is to me important to my ability to be vulnerable and to be there for my team.
We've known each other a long time, and we have some pretty deep conversations from time to time throughout all the years we've worked together. And most recently, we've been talking about the social unrest. Mm-hmm. And I would be remiss if I don't take this opportunity to ask you, as a Black female leader, what advice can you give all of us? What do we need to pay attention to? What can we do to help promote true equality in the workplace?
That's a great question. Well, the first thing I would do is commend MBA on having some very courageous conversations within our own offices. I think that that's important, and the thing that I have been communicating is, this topic has come up quite frequently, both personally and professionally, is that it's important that we have the dialogue right now. I think conversations are important. I think listening is at an all-time high, and so I think that that's extremely important. And I think if we keep doing that, I think that we will certainly come up with solutions. I think that we will, end up in a different place than we have been in the past, and so I think that that's extremely important.
Thank you for your insights. And I will say it's great to be here today and get dressed up. Teressa and I last week were talking about how we were mourning our career girl, our inner career girl. And it was great to be back in the office and get to spend time with you and wash our hair and get out of yoga pants. So thank you again for coming in.
Thank you, Marcia, for having me.